Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Welcome to USA Prepares. This is your captain speaking, John Regan. Here we are where converging threats are confronted daily. And boy, oh boy, did I get an interesting email in my inbox this morning from Dr. Norm Shealy. Good morning, Dr. Shealy.
Is this about the psychotic drug thing? Or?
Yes, it is.
Well, I don't know any mood drug of any kind that is safe, reasonable, useful, and I'm being kind. You saw the one I sent out maybe about a month ago, ban psychiatry, not guns.
Yes.
Well, I guess everybody by now who knows anything about me knows what I think of psychiatry. I think it is just a tad worse than Monsanto and the tobacco industry combined.
Found that really disturbing. Antipsychotics shrinking the brain, and what's all the side effects of your brain shrinking?
Well, it's called Alzheimer's in old people, and it's of course memory loss among other things. But of course, when you do that in people who are already psychotic, it can make them much more dangerous. Because they're erratic. They don't have any kind of normal control. In the old days were before Thorazine. The problem began when the drug Thorazine was unveiled as an antipsychotic drug. I think it was could have been as early as 1949. Until that time, people who were seriously psychotic were maintained in so-called mental institutions where they were taken care of better than they could be taken care of at home. They can be taken care of well at home because they need 24-hour-a-day surveillance. They wander. They do erratic things. You never know, when they're going to become violent. And if you really look at the cost to society, having the people who are truly psychotic in a mental institution is probably less expensive. Forget about all the other factors. It's probably less expensive because the great, phenomenal expansion in the so-called homeless is largely the result of the fact that the psychotic people won't take the medications when they're out on the street. Now, personally, I don't think most of them need medications, of course. Only when they're so violent that you just have to do something to sedate them. But the whole mental health, so-called, industry is, in my opinion, the kind of thing that says it's a shambles, and the worst that you could say is it's a total disaster. Other than that, this is like in the play is so bad.
And we've got a lot of just physical health issues because of malnutrition, and that extends into the mental health arena as well. When you're deficient in some of these nutrients, your brain just can't produce what it needs.
That is true. And in today's world, considering that about 80% of all the food sold is junk, it's amazing that any of us do well. 45% of all food eaten in this country is from fast food restaurants. Personally, I wouldn't even trust the coffee at a fast food restaurant because they probably put monosodium glutamate in it to addict you. And so that means that 45% of the food right up front is total junk. Then you go in the grocery store, and conservatively, 60% of what's available for purchase as food in the grocery store is junk. If it's got monosodium glutamate, textured this, that, artificial this, substitute this, it's junk. And that is roughly 60% of what's in the grocery store. So you take 60% of the 55%, that's 35. So we're up to 80% of all the food in this country is not only inadequate, it is junk. I know I've got to learn how to express myself, but...
Back in the days when I had a paycheck here in Dallas, I'd go to Whole Paycheck, also known as Whole Foods, and I'd go up and down the aisles and I'd start reading the ingredients in a lot of these products, and essentially so much of it was just organic junk. It still had the sugars.
Oh yeah, no, and Whole Foods is not whole. It is holy, and I don't mean that in the spiritual holy. It's full of holes in its advertising and what it serves you. They've been caught with many mislabelings. Fortunately, we don't have one here in Springfield because I wouldn't shop there if they did. I don't trust them. I don't trust the word organic when it comes into any grocery store. It's, basically, unless I grow it myself, I can't be sure. And I can't grow everything. I mean, I can't grow most fruits.
I guess I need to let Vince know that we dumped another sponsor.
Well, interestingly, those that would dump us would never have gotten on our bandwagon in the first place.
And I don't think I said Vincent is out helping a friend this week, and especially during this winter time when there's a limited number of daylight hours, I can certainly understand that. So that's why I'm here sitting in for him this week.
It is wonderful, John. Always good to talk to you.
Some people say that it's not good to talk to me because it's depressing.
Well, one of my friends called this morning early, and he said, okay, here's the latest in my saga. And I said, look, in my opinion, since 9/11, the atmosphere, what I would call the psychic, I suppose, atmosphere of the world has been chaos. And unless you can keep yourself detached from it, you're lucky to be alive. Because there's this feeling, I feel as if there's total panic waiting at the door if I just allowed it to come in. And I don't feel it because I have, for the last 45 years, put a brick wall in front of myself to not allow any negative crap to get in. I can look at it, I can talk about it occasionally, I don't spend much time on it, and I am immune to it.
Unfortunately, most people out there, especially those living in cities, especially this financial condition is going to ramp up some anxiety pretty quickly. It's been amazing to me what all's happened, just this year, and this year isn't even 2 weeks old yet.
Well, it's my eternal question, and I've been asking this question for at least 9 or 10 years. it is not a question of whether the house of cards will fall, but when. And the criminals who are in charge of thinking and more or less running the world, and that means the Feds, the big banks, the Illuminati, the Bilderbergs, the Committee of 300, the evil empire, are doing everything in their power to keep us from knowing just how bad things are.
Well, one of the indicators went another level bad this morning. The Baltic Dry Index, which is the shipping of the raw goods, this was up near 10,000 before the 2008 collapse. And when it got down to around 5, I thought that was going to be the floor. And then this past week, we saw it drop into the 400s. Well, this morning, it dropped another 8 points to 394. I can't believe it.
Well, son, believe it. And how low can it go? 0? I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, I think 0 is about as low as it can go, but there's going to be a bunch of bankruptcies of shipping companies before that happens.
Well, look at the mining companies that are going bankrupt today. Not something I have a big tab on, but that was one of the headlines that I saw.
Yeah, I was listening to the news when I was on yesterday's show, and the quote was, "The underlying fundamentals of the United States are fine." You know, that was so close to the quote from 2008, it wasn't funny.
Yeah, the lie of the day so far, although it's only one of many, wherever you look, it's lies, lies, lies. So, John, looking at how bad it is going to get, and nobody knows when, but it will. Any new thoughts about the average person? I mean, personally, you live in a city, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to live in a city.
And that's John Raven with Dr. Shealy. We'll be back after this break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you sneezing, coughing, and aching? Do you have a sore throat, a fever, or the sniffles? There's no reason to be sick this cold and flu season with immune system support from Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver can give your body the help it needs to fight off harmful pathogens without hurting beneficial gut flora and without leaving behind resistant bacteria. Antibiotics can damage good microflora and often leave behind bacteria which can cause problems later on. If you're sick of being sick, try Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver, the #1 choice of thousands for a safe and effective way to protect against the many diseases and illnesses that we are facing today. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, read our customer reviews, and see the life-changing results that people are having. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code PROTECTED for 20% off your entire order. And like us on Facebook. Supernatural Silver.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pileski of the Pileski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
This is John Regan at the controls today, and since we started the show, well, at least at the beginning, basically the major indices were up slightly, and crude oil was up a bit over $1, and that has started changing. And in fact, now the NASDAQ slightly in the red. Crude is up less than $1, and I'll follow that, and we'll see where it's at by the time we reach the end of the show.
It could be above and below almost every minute between now and then.
Yeah. Oh, we got a caller, Lou from Illinois. Welcome to USA Prepares. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I want to let you know what you're talking about now about the crisis and all. The Royal Bank of Scotland predicted or told everybody to sell everything back in August of 2008, just a month before Lehman Brothers went under. And they're doing the same thing now. I'm looking at an article in the Telegraph. It says, RBS cries, sell everything as deflationary crisis nears. So they're...
Oh, the good news of the day.
Oh, yeah, they're giving the same warning now that they did in August of 2008. So that's something to look at.
Appreciate it. Did you have anything else?
No, just, carry on. I like listening to you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke.
Oh, and
well, if you are somewhat prepared, reasonably prepared, then, having the crash, whatever it means, occur, will actually take a lot of stress out of the world. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's here.
And the good news is, if you do survive it, there's going to be a whole lot less of those useful idiots and stupid voters.
Now, that's the first hope I've heard in the last 8 years.
They are depending on the government to help them out. Let me go ahead and give out the call-in number in case somebody has a question for Dr. Shealy. It's 1-866-582-9933. It's 866-582-9933. And, you were saying before the break about living in the city, and that's not where I want to be. Becky and I moved to a community there in the Ozarks at the end of 2010. And had they been who they said they were, we'd still be there. The plus side of the whole event is because of being in the area, I got an opportunity to go to the expo and meet Vincent and the rest of the USA Preparers family, including somebody known as Dr. Norman Shealy. And I appreciate all that you do and the way that you don't just retire, you're there helping people.
Well, to me, I'd just soon be dead as retire. I mean, there's nothing to it. In my opinion, there's only one purpose in life. That's to do what you can to help other people. If you're not doing that, you're wasting a lifetime. I don't know what that means in the long term from a spiritual point of view. It's just that I know that it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're doing something that helps people. I mean, to me, a plumber or a ditch digger is just as important as anything I ever did in the operating room or otherwise as a physician, because if I had to do those things for myself, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. And being a full-time, take care of yourself, supply everything, it's okay, but it's not very, to me, it would not be rewarding, so that you do need community. And one of the, there's several things that have a great influence on our health and longevity. One of those is called conscientiousness, which means being responsible. That's basically what it means. I take personal responsibility for everything I can. People who do that live longer and healthier.
This is John Regan with Dr. Norman Shealy. We'll be back after the break.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad. But boy, was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, LibertyOnCall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to LibertyOnCall.org right now, for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's LibertyOnCall.org.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowicz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpocketing. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallet, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll be pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
It's John Regan with Dr. Shealy. Let's see, what else can we do to get in trouble today?
Oh, my. Basically what we're really talking about is keeping out of trouble.
You weren't the only one sending out disturbing emails today. Dr. McCullough had some bad news, too. One of the articles, and something that you've talked about before, is how sugar destroys your liver and brain. And,
yeah. And, of course, the food mafia has brainwashed people to consider aspartame and all kinds of other poisons as being better than sugar, and actually they're not. They're probably worse. They don't cause the same chemical abnormalities that sugar does, but they sure are harmful. I mean, actually, I think it was about a week ago, the government put out this big thing about people should restrict calories to 10%, to sugar to 10% of their total calorie intake. Well, John, let's say a healthy 18-year-old consumes about 2,500 calories. 10% of that is 250 calories. 250 calories is 50 teaspoons of sugar. That's actually close to what the average person still eats. And, personally, I think you should restrict sugar to not more than about 7 teaspoons a day. You can't avoid it totally in today's world very well. And I doubt that 7 teaspoons a day would be harmful to most people. But 50 teaspoons a day? That's extremely harmful. First of all, it uses up all your vitamin B. It uses up all of your chromium. It depletes you of magnesium. I mean, other than that, it's not so bad.
When I was learning the history of it, it wasn't until industrialization that sugar as we know it became available. It was very labor intensive to produce sugar. And even, very early 20th century, it was like 2 or 3 pounds per person per year. And at that level, it probably really doesn't have much of a health impact.
Right.
But we're now up to about 150 pounds per person per year. And at that level, it's very damaging.
Well, first of all, the biggest problem is it depletes you of all the nutrients that are essential in order to metabolize it, and therefore steals from you the magnesium, the B complex, the chromium, etc., and makes you deficient in those because there is no vitamin or mineral in sugar. It is just sugar. I haven't bought sugar into my house since 1970 and have no intention of adding any time.
Well, it used to be you only got the sweet things from natural sources. You could have honey. If you were in the right areas, you could have maple syrup. In season, you could have fruit, but nothing like we experience today.
Well, and unfortunately, in addition to the artificial things like aspartame, the food mafia has also added fructose, a huge amount of phenol fructose. Now, fructose in a piece of fruit is pretty good because it comes with vitamins and minerals. The fructose without vitamins and minerals is just as bad as sucrose. And it's useless. It has no value except to make you addicted.
Well, Dr. Shealy, we've got a caller, Sharon from Montana. Sharon, welcome to USA Prepares.
Hello, Sharon? Y'all there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a comment, and then I have a fairly long question. The comment I was going to make is you're talking about mental illness, and I read quite a few years back a book about a man who was a doctor who dealt with mentally ill people, and he had extreme success with people that dealt bipolar and schizophrenia and stuff like that by giving them mega doses of certain vitamins, of which I don't know where the book is right now, and just reducing their simple sugars. And as long as they stayed on that, they had no problem. So, I kind of think there could be a natural approach to some of the mental illness. Second point is my daughter's an RN, and she said, your body has to keep a really tight parameters in your RH, or you'll have a heart attack. So I'm kind of curious how this alkalinity type thing works. I mean, some people say they take baking soda, and some people say vinegar. And I know you covered this a couple weeks ago, but I didn't catch it all. And when you put baking soda and vinegar together, it makes a lot of foam, which you can do like homemade volcanoes. So how would that truly help your body, or what is the purpose of taking either or both of those things?
Okay, well, basically, I'm not at all an enthusiast about baking soda. And the reason is it is sodium bicarbonate. Now, we do need alkalinity. And you get alkalinity in your diet from fruits and vegetables, period.
Okay.
Essentially, except a very few exceptions, all fruits and vegetables create an alkaline environment in your body. Now, the average person eats 2.2 servings of fruits and vegetables total a day, and then the minimum recommended is 5. So you're therefore deficient in one of the great essential nutrients, which is potassium. Potassium comes from plants, fruits and vegetables. And it is recommended that the average person should get in about 4,500 milligrams a day of potassium, and the average person is getting less than 2,500. So they're getting about half of the recommended daily intake of potassium. So if you're going to try to alkalinize, personally, I strongly prefer potassium bicarbonate. It's much, much safer. Now, you can buy it as a powder. It's kind of hard to find, but you can also buy little, tiny little capsules that are 99 milligrams each. And for most people, 5 or 10 of those a day will alkalinize the body adequately. See, basically, your blood and everything practically inside your body itself is alkaline. That is, has a pH of 7.4. 7 is neutral. 7.4 is desirable for your blood. Now, for the urine, the desirable is between 5.5 and 6, and never above 6.5, because basically the kidney gets rid of the excess acidity, and it needs to do that. And when the pH of the urine gets up to 6.5 and above, it means the kidney can't handle, the alkaline acid base properly. So I don't know. I think that people who are not going to eat 5 or more servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and that's total, combined, I start my day with 6 servings of fruits and vegetables in a slush. That is the beginning. I do that within the first hour of getting up in the morning. And so if I get 3 more a day, I'm getting 8 or 9, sometimes 10 servings a day. So I'm getting plenty of potassium. There's no substitute for it.
Some people take apple cider vinegar. Is that helpful or not?
It does. Interestingly, it does increase it's metabolized into something that increases alkalinity. Just as citrus, which is thought of, citric acid is thought of being an acid, actually, when it's metabolized, it becomes alkaline. There are only a few fruits that are acid-producing. Cranberries are one. Rhubarb is one. Plums and prunes, which are just plums anyway, are acid-producing. All other fruits and virtually all vegetables are alkaline-producing.
Okay, and so it's believed that if your body's more acidic, it's more prone to being sick, or?
Oh, yes. It lowers your immune system, first of all.
Okay.
And it causes inflammation in the body. And so having an acid body is dangerous to your health, longevity, and well-being.
So another quick thing is my daughter mentioned that sugar causes inflammation. Have you read studies about that?
Oh, yes, no question. Sugar is an inflaming negative nutrient. Now, again, that is not the sugar in fruits and vegetables. Sugar in fruits and vegetables comes with the vitamins and minerals needed to metabolize it.
Okay. Well, I was just curious about that because I keep hearing all these various, remedies touted, and I was just wondering how they could say you take one thing and then tell you to take the opposite, seemingly, and how that even would matter. So, thank you. I really appreciate the answers. Thank you very much.
Thanks for calling. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it's interesting. I several years ago went to a seminar that Dr. Tennant did here, and his big thing is voltage levels and how that ties to oxygen levels and the acid alkalinity axis, and they're all basic measurements of the same thing. This is John Regan with Dr. Shealy. Back after the. This is John Regan sitting in for Vincent today. I'm Dr. Norman Shealy. And before the break, I was talking about it's not just acid, alkaline. You want to be alkaline. The more you get into the acidic nature, the sicker you're going to be. But it's also what happens with the oxygen. As your oxygen level goes down, you also get that acidic level, and your voltage, as it goes down, it's basically a measurement. Three different measurements of the same thing. And I was looking at the spectrum, and as you go further down, what starts happening is, now you are susceptible to the viruses, the bacteria, the fungi, and ultimately, if all that gets serious enough, that's where cancer kicks in. And it was very interesting to see that spectrum, and also had to put in perspective a bit. The way God designed things, bacteria and fungi are part of the garbage men. They're there to clean up the dead things. So as we are exposed to these toxins, and we're not eating the right foods, and we're becoming deficient in things, basically the simple thing is we're killing ourselves, and these other things that we call pathogens are just doing their job.
Well, that's true, John. And one of my favorite statements is everything affects everything. So we should be paying attention to the uncommon commodity, common sense.
And then what we want to do is take a pill to fix it, even if it's a vitamin pill. And in most cases, that can bring on its own set of problems. It's best to get our nutrition from food, and yes, there's some things that we just can't do that with, and that's where we do want to take that supplementation. But it's like we're so darn busy, we can't even take the time to do anything that we need to properly run our lives. Well,
interestingly, I think that 100 years ago, perhaps, if you ate real food, you could get enough vitamins and minerals. The interesting thing is that when there is ambient toxicity, it increases your need for the essentials. For instance, the B vitamins, among others, vitamin C. Back in 100 years ago, or 90 years ago at least, it was thought that the essential intake of vitamin C was 60 milligrams. Well, by 1978, Emanuel Saraskin determined that it required a minimum of 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C to be optimally healthy. And I look at that as the chemical toxicity of the world that took place in those 60 years or so. In other words, smog, just smog alone. The 550,000 poisonous chemicals that are released into the atmosphere. All kinds of stress increase your need for a number of items, including all of the B complex, as well as vitamin C and certain minerals, especially magnesium. When you are stressed, and it doesn't matter whether the stress is chemical, physical, or emotional, you actually lose magnesium in your urine. In other words, when you raise your adrenaline level, it causes you to lose magnesium. So we need more now than we did 100 years ago.
John Regan with Dr. Norman Shealy. We'll be back after the top of the hour news break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
This is John Regan sitting in for Vincent today. He's out helping a friend, and being Wednesday, we have Dr. Norman Shealy. And wow, that was an interesting hour one. One of the things I want to get to, and this is on your website, that's normshealy.com. If you scroll down near the bottom, there's a couple of things. One, you can subscribe to Dr. Shealy's mailing list and get the email that we were talking about last hour. And just above that, he has some featured products, one of which is a fast sprout grower. And I wanted to talk about that and sprouts, if you don't mind.
Hey, I love talking about that. It's, in the winter especially, when in most of the United States you couldn't grow most of your vegetables outside, sprouts are a wonderful, live, fresh vegetable food loaded with vitamins and minerals. And the easiest in the world to sprout is mung beans. Literally, John, it takes exactly 24 hours at most to sprout mung beans. So you put in 1 or 2 tablespoons, depending on how many people are going to be eating from it. You put in a couple of tablespoons of dry mung beans. It takes you all of 1 minute to douse them with water, cover it, and just let them sit for 24 hours. You will have, at least 6 or more tablespoons of fresh, delicious veggies. I like to just munch on them raw, but they're good with the vinegar and olive oil, and they are among the most nutritious things you can eat. Now, you can sprout all kinds of things, but none of them is as easy as mung beans, and so I tend to stick with that.
If we wanted to experiment around, are there any particular sproutables you'd recommend?
Well, actually, yes, the broccoli seeds are also an excellent sprout, and alfalfa. You can actually, now you got to be sure when you buy seeds for sprouting that you don't get seeds that are intended for planting in the garden, because often the companies that put out the seeds for your garden have dusted them with various and sundry things. So just as with diatomaceous earth, you want food grade. You want to get food grade of whatever you're going to sprout. But any, halitosis, better no breath at all. Any sprout is better than no sprout.
And like you say, these are loaded with lots of, the nutrition that we're seeking, as well as enzymes that we typically don't get in our processed food.
Exactly. And, the digestion of them is so simple and for the stomach and intestines to do. And, I honestly recommend, if you won't do anything else about fruits and vegetables, please make yourself some sprouts and make your family some sprouts. I buy 5 pounds of mung bean for sprouting at a time. And that probably makes, 5 pounds probably makes 50 pounds of sprouts.
Yeah, we're going to get started on that. I finally got a place where I can, have space for that. We moved a few months ago, and that disrupts everything.
Yeah, all you need is about 1 square foot of space for the sprouter, and so it could go on any counter in your kitchen.
That space was kind of at a premium. I've actually got another space that we can use now. And I was hearing you talk about the sprouter with Vincent. You're saying that was the easiest one that you've ever used.
Oh, yeah. I started playing with sprouts 40 years ago. And the ones where you have them in a jar and you have to rinse it and you strain it, it's a pill. To me, it's just too much trouble. This particular sprouter that I happened upon somehow last year from a guy up in Canada, Tony, is so simple. Basically, I just rinse it comes with a little wire in the bottom, like a fine screen wire. And so I just put them under the faucet, rinse them. Then after I've let that water out, I put the plastic bottom under it, and I put it with water up so that some part of the water is touching the screen itself, but not covering water. Just enough that they're getting plenty of moisture. That's really all you have to do until you're ready to eat them. Once they're sprouted, you just, again, run the whole thing under the faucet to rinse them off, and they're ready to eat.
Something we discussed at the meetup was spraying a diluted concentration of Nixol on them. And just in case there had been some kind of pathogen get transferred to the bean or the seed.
Yeah, I would think that's probably okay. I, by the way, buy my 5-pound bags of this from a place called Nuts Online. This is not an ad for them. It's the one I use. I get lots of various and sundry nuts from them. They just seem to be a very good source for all kinds of nuts and seeds.
Okay. That was one of my questions, is where would we go buy this? I know there's some health food stores that carry supplies, and not everybody's near one of those.
Exactly. And the sprouter that we sell, we provide with it a pound of mung beans. So, that's just one way to get started.
Okay. And I guess like any other agricultural product, there's going to be some kind of shelf life on that. The germination of it would fall off over time.
I imagine so. Of course, I keep mine in the refrigerator, actually. I put in a plastic bag. I put my mung beans, the dried ones as I get them. I take out what I'm going to use, right away, and maybe a small jar that I keep in the regular refrigerator, and then in my storage refrigerator, I keep the 5-pound bag, because that is no question that's going to keep them a lot longer. And they're not going to last long enough that I need to worry about vacuum packing it. But speaking of, preserving things, I have had for, again, over 35 years, a glass jar vacuum packer. I can vacuum pack any kind of dried material in a 1 quart or 2 quart jar that will seal it just as effectively as a regular canning where you have to pressure cook it or water bath it. So it's a wonderful way to keep things. And I've kept things for over 15 years, dried stuff in there, and they still work.
Okay. Let me give out the call-in line again in case somebody has a question for you. That's 1-866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. And along with the sprouter there, other featured items include the set of 5 blisses and your magnesium lotion. All of that's great stuff.
I'm glad you brought them up, because honestly, John, I really consider that in my, this year is the 60th year since I graduated from medical school in June. And my most important discovery in those 60 years is the use of the Bliss oil to help all kinds of things. First of all, the basic biochemistry for health. If you can keep your DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, normal, if you can keep your calcitonin normal, if you can keep your free radicals low, I predicted in 2005 that just those 3 things, normal DHEA, normal calcitonin, and very low free radicals, would extend life. And that's when I began looking at telomeres, the tips of your DNA, as a measurement of longevity and health. Well, when I started, of course, the only way I had to keep your DHEA up, your calcitonin up, your free radical down was to use electrical stimulation of human DNA frequency, which is 52 to 78 billion cycles a second. And it would take an hour a day. And that's time-consuming. And, even I, other than a research project, would not every day want to spend an hour doing that. So I first found that people wouldn't do it, and then I created a mattress that you could put on top of your bed and turn it on while you sleep for an hour, so you'd have to waste your precious daytime time. And that worked. But it's kind of expensive, the mattress, and you can't exactly roll it up and take it with you when you travel. But we found if people use it at least 5 days a week, it would regrow your telomeres 3.5% instead of shrinking 1%. Basically, that's 4.5% better than health under the ordinary circumstances. And I'll go on my soapbox after.
We'll be right back.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit usaprepares.com. That's usaprepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. usaprepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Is negative content or comments on the web affecting your personal or professional reputation? Unfavorable comments, embarrassing pictures, videos, legal documents, and bad tweets can ruin your personal life, your career, or your business. It happens a lot, and it's just not fair. But what can you do? Reputation.com can protect your good name. Get a free consultation now at 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Call right now for a free expert reputation analysis. It's easy to squash the unfair attacks with our patented system, and the analysis is absolutely free. Make the best things about you jump out in searches. Protect your personal and professional reputation, your business, and your income. Get your free reputation analysis from Reputation.com right now. Call 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. 800-831-0771. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
It's John Regan at the controls today with Dr. Norm Shealy. We had started talking about the bliss oils, and I remember when the first one came out, the Air Bliss, and you had Vincent try it on air, and we were concerned about his safety for getting home that day.
Yes. Well, basically, as I was saying, it looks to me as if you really want to know what your potential for both health and longevity is, check your dehydroepiandrosterone, that's DHEA. In most people, by age 30, you've already lost 5 to 10% of what you had at age 25. By age 80, you've got 10% of what you had at age 30. If you keep your DHEA up normally, healthily, not by taking it, but by activating it in your own body, it is the single easiest, least expensive measurement of your overall health potential. Now, we live despite it going down and down and down. But we live healthier and without most diseases as long as we keep it at a healthy level. Now, there are 4 natural ways to rejuvenate it. One is fire bliss now. And actually, it takes 30 seconds a day to start, once you learn the points. It may take you several days to learn the points, but 30 seconds to put it on. Now, if that isn't enough, there are 3 other techniques like my youth formula, natural progesterone cream, and magnesium lotion, all of which help restore DHEA. Each of them raises it about an average of 60% over baseline, never above normal. Calcitonin is critically important because it keeps your bones from falling apart. What is the most common cause of death in people over 80? A fractured hip, osteoporosis. Well, if you can keep your calcitonin normal, and the only natural, normal way that I know to restore calcitonin is with Earth Bliss. Not only does it help raise your calcitonin, but it is the strongest pain reliever that the body itself produces. Now, finally, free radicals. Free radicals are the representation of the number of, well, the measurement is one of the number of cells in your body that have died since the last time you urinated. And most people are running a 3+ to 5+ cell death 24 hours a day. Well, we can reduce that 80% with Crystal Bliss. And as I predicted and demonstrated with electrical stimulation, with the 3 Bliss oils, we now know that if you use them every day, you can regenerate your telomeres, the tips of your DNA, an average of 3.5% a year instead of the 1% shrinkage, which is what happens in the healthiest of people under normal circumstances. Now, if you've got crummy health habits, if you smoke, if you're significantly overweight, if you are inactive, you're going to have more free radicals, more damage. But if you've got reasonably good health habits, the simplest thing you can do to enhance your health and keep your body alive and functioning for the longest period of time is the use of fire, earth, and Crystal Bliss. I feel so strongly about this that next week I'm making a 5-minute videotape that I'm going to try to make go viral, because I do really consider this unequivocally the single most important discovery of my life.
I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
Well, I can send it to you, John. I'll put it out on my email newsletter, of course. But send me an email, because I'm not sure. It's been a while since we've emailed, and it might come up when I put your name in.
Okay.
And I will mail you what I'll be saying and the slides that'll be part of it, because I really do want this to become viral. Actually, I've talked to the president of the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine has promised to send it out to 300,000 people, and the holistic nurses are going to help me get the word out, because I consider this, well, more important than my discovery of transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation or dorsal stimulation and a lot of other things.
Oh, we'll be back after this break.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com. Or call 800-544-3533.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
You pick up the receiver. With your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead, you finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason! Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the hosts you're listening to right now, online at gcnlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at gcnlive.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS? Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely. We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Have you ever wondered what rich people know that you don't? Because people who are earning 10 times more than you are not 10 times smarter than you. But they do have a secret. They know something you don't. And that something is what I'd like to share. Because I started out like you, buying dozens of money-making programs, 99% turning out to be nothing but mumbo-jumbo. But eventually, I discovered a secret, earning over $284,000 in a single year. And this is why I have a confession to make. Because most people think my success came from luck or hard work, unfortunately, neither is true. Because I didn't start making more until I started doing less. Less physical work and more mental work. This is because I owe all my success to one thing, and I'd like to share it with you in a new free book. All you have to do to get a copy is go to realcashsecrets.com. That's realcashsecrets.com. Obviously, this offer is limited, so please go now to realcashsecrets.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor-endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
This is Josh Regan with Dr. Shealy, and I came across a bottle of Lugol solution that is a few years old now. I was wondering, does Lugol solution lose the iodine or effectiveness?
Not to my knowledge. Now, theoretically, if it was stored in light, if the bottle is just a regular glass bottle, not a dark brown bottle, and it's stored right out in the open, it might deteriorate. But if it's been in a relatively light-free or, cupboard or something, I think it'd probably be good for 5 years.
Okay, it's been in a dark brown bottle and in a box. Okay, I'm just curious on that. Now, I don't think I ever asked you when we started off today. What did you want to talk about?
Something, John, if it's related to life and health, I'm interested. I mean, it is truly, there's so much potential and so much possibility. And interestingly, I want to mention a book. This is going to come out sometime soon, one of my recommendations. It's a very interesting book by Robert Lightman, Leichtman. I just got it yesterday. I've known Bob since the early 70s. He is a physician who is one of the best intuitives in the world. He's the only person that I consider as good as Carolyn Mace in making a medical diagnosis. But Bob, although he does that and has done that, his focus has been on really teaching the basic principles of health and spirituality. And his latest book just came out called Heeding, H-W-D-I-N-G, the Light, Fulfilling the Commandments of the Christ. And it's part of a series he calls Resurrecting Christianity. But Bob writes so practically, so simple. This book focuses on free will versus spiritual duty, for instance, rights and preferences versus responsibilities, illusion versus reality. In other words, this is an exquisitely practical spiritual guide, and you can actually, it's on it. I looked it up this morning. It is available on Amazon, and so I strongly recommend that people who want what I would call the best, simple, practical spiritual guide to living the right life, Heeding the Light by Robert Lightman.
You talked about early Christianity there. One of the things I think that our churches have shied away from, and I can understand, part of the argument for that, but you read in the Bible where, in the New Testament, that, they were talking with spirits, but the big deal is to know which spirits you're talking to. And the churches now, so many of them just, it's kind of like the prohibition on drinking alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol, you can't get drunk, but it's not a sin to drink alcohol. It's the practicality of it, not the action itself. If you're doing things right, and following what we were told, it's amazing how much trouble you stay out of.
Exactly. Well, it's a lot easier to stay out of trouble if you have common sense and follow the kind of guidelines that Bob Lightman talks about in his writings. But Heeding the Light, I think, is his first book to date, and this guy's got to be his 20th book or so.
And it's amazing how much science in the Bible we're just getting a chance to understand now. It's even like how it talks about the sin affecting several generations after that. And now we have epigenetics, which, that's exactly it. The experience that the parents have before the child is born affects the expression of the DNA, which affects not only that child, but down the line for a while.
Somewhere 4 to 7 generations. Actually, Price and Pottinger, the dentist and physician way back in the 40s, who did a worldwide study of the effects of crummy nutrition, demonstrated in cats at least that some of the delayed effects genetically could come out 4 to 7 generations after whatever the insult was. So we are also, of course, the response of what happened in our generation, in our family tree, so to speak, 4 to 7 generations ago. But the good news about epigenetics is that there are both mental, emotional, and chemical things that one can do to help your genes optimize. And that's the whole principle of epigenetics.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's the dark side of the force too, including Satan and others that are trying to do the damage in those areas.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I've got another article that was in Dr. McCullough's email this morning. BPA makes you fat. And, we already knew that BPA is an endocrine disruptor. But I found it interesting that it had a little bit of history of BPA that was first created by a Russian chemist in 1891. They knew in the 1930s that it mimicked estrogen in the human body. But in the 1950s, they started using it in industry.
And food and drink.
And, it was nice for making resilient and often transparent plastics. They used it to coat the cans. About 75% of cans are still coated with it. And the replacement, which I think is called BPS, really isn't any better.
Yeah, plastic is still plastic, and it plasticizes your body.
And it's so pervasive. It's almost impossible to go to the store and find food in glass bottles anymore.
Oh, yes.
They've almost all been changed over to plastic.
I know, and I really don't like that. I have to say I still cherish glass.
It's gotten to where that, when we have something that we buy in glass, we save that jar after it's empty.
Oh, yeah. It is reusable indefinitely and safe, as long as you wash it out.
One of the things that surprised me a little bit, it's not just those items. You can get BPA from these cash register receipts. They're not printed with ink anymore.
I know that one. Wow.
Yeah. So it's almost the point where you want to wear gloves just to get your register receipt.
Oh, my heavens. And be sure they're not made with BPA. I wonder about surgical drugs, so-called, because they used to be rubber, and I wonder if they are now made with some kind of plastic. You obviously don't know. You didn't answer.
I don't know on that one. I've been looking at some of the other items here, like the vinyl shower curtains. If you have one of those, you can replace it with a fabric one. There's a lot of toiletries, including shampoos and toothpaste and antiperspirants. Basically, you just got to know what's in your stuff. And sometimes they don't make it easy.
Guess what I just looked up? New research finds that the BPA in cash register receipts can be absorbed through the skin, even using gloves of the type commonly found in doctors' offices and hospitals. So rubber gloves do not protect you from BPA. Wow.
Oh boy, it's just it's makes you wonder, what do we have to do? Just take a picture of it, and so we've got a record and leave the receipt there.
The camera doesn't have BPA. After finding that surgical gloves won't keep it out. Oh boy. Wow.
He also had one, why filtering your water is a necessity. And, we've talked a lot already about filtering the water that we drink. But Dr. McCullough was talking about having a whole house filter. especially when you're living in a city and getting all the besides the chemicals that they put in, the fluoride and the chlorine, you've got all the pharmaceuticals that are in there, and no telling what else. And when you go in and take a shower, it's like I learned, your skin is the largest organ of the body, and it absorbs things. So if you go in and take a shower without any kind of filter, wow, you're getting a lot.
Now, here is something. It says here that vinyl gloves do not have BPA. Latex apparently has BPA, but vinyl does not, according to this. Wow.
Some might have to take some of those gloves to the store with us. We'll be right back after this break.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Attention, hardworking Americans over the age of 50. If you have basic computer skills, then you may qualify to earn a second income working from home. Income potential is up to $18 per hour. If you have customer service experience or other marketable skills, your income could be higher. The good news is, you will not be alone in this new career, because you'll be joining 53 million Americans working from home in this growing industry, and growing it is. If you have basic computer skills and would like to earn a second income from home, a new free report can give you all the information you need to get started. Again, the report is free, and you can receive it in minutes. All you have to do is visit realcashsecrets.com. That's realcashsecrets.com. To receive your free report, just visit realcashsecrets.com. But hurry, because this free offer could be discontinued. So go to realcashsecrets.com. That's realcashsecrets.com.
My name is Don Wiskin, and at 42 years old, I suffered a massive heart attack and was told I'd be on disability for the rest of my life. What did I do? I created Extendivite, a garlic and cayenne mix of 7 herbs which rebuilt my heart and gave me back my life. For over 17 years now, I have made this formula available to you, so you don't have to suffer the same thing I did. Clean your blocked arteries and strengthen your heart and boost your natural immune system. I'm 60 years old now, and I still work every day. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com. Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market, the gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
This is John Regan with Dr. Norm Shealy, and we have Miles from Europe on the line. Hello, Miles. Miles, can you hear me?
Hello, Miles.
Hey, I can hear you now. It's wonderful. Can you hear me clear?
Can hear you.
We got it.
Wonderful. I'm having here little issues because I have my Alpine high mountain telephone line now connected to you, and this is like a very moody old lady being to.
Watch your language, Miles. Don't insult old ladies.
I just took off my latex gloves where I was working in hydraulic oil with, and I asked myself, why is my chest getting bigger? Like, could that be something that has to do with the BPA?
That's right. That's BPA at its best or worst, as the case may be.
Gentlemen, I'm calling in today because I had a chit-chat yesterday with Doc Shealy about treatment of a diabetic leg. And Doc Shealy recommended a treatment with PEMS, with a magnetic stimulation. Is that right?
Yes. Electromagnetic, right.
Yes, so it's the PEMS stimulation. Right. I had a tool in storage, but that was not a PEMS tool. That was a TENS tool, like electric current, just working on a muscle and sending a current into there and relax. And is that applicable as well, or?
Well, it certainly can do something, but it's not nearly as good as the pulsed electromagnetic field because it doesn't spread to the whole leg, for instance, whereas with a PEMF, you can get the whole body or just the whole leg or the whole spine or whatever.
Okay, what is the tool that you recommend and on what kind of modulation that should be operated then? Well,
Luke Cassidy introduced me to one that he made. He's an engineer, and he brought me one at the expo last spring, and I've gotten very excited about it. He actually allowed me to have him reset the frequencies. I determined many, many years ago that the body in various physical locations responds to Earth frequency, according to where it is. That is, your feet and your legs are going to respond to the basic human frequency of 7.83. And I believe and have some evidence that by the time you get up to the top of the head, we're 7 times 7.83 in our base frequency. And then outside, of course, there's levels of 10 to the 1, 10 to the 2nd, 10 to the 10th, and all that. And so the basic physical frequency of the body goes from plus or minus 2 of that 7.83. So he developed one for me, which I call chakra, C-H-A-K-R-A, sweep, and it goes from 5.83 to 58.83.
58 point.
All of the frequencies of the physical body itself.
Okay. That's the chakra blast.
Yeah, or the chakra sweep, I call it. But, it's sweeping through those frequencies. And in fact, I now put that under my mattress and have it on all night. So I'm getting those frequencies for at least 7 hours a night.
Okay. Well, when I was young, I was sleeping on a Marshall box that was donated. And I had a similar experiences with electromagnetic fields there. But I don't know whether I can get the machine from Luke Cassidy. Is there a tool that you recommend other than that?
Well, it's the least expensive, and send me an email, and I'll tell you how to get in touch with Luke.
I will do so, sir. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, you have a great day. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for the call.
And John, thank you. Have a great week.
Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Vincent decides to take a day off.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Remember, class, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.